So your next question might be, why is it that when we are querying using LINQ here, why is it that we have to include these two methods? What's so special about them? So the way Entity Framework works is it works on a concept called lazy loading. So anything that it does not need to load, it won't load. And to demonstrate this, so we know our database looks like this. We have students. Students have ID and name, and we have a course. Course has an ID and a title. And then we have that the student can be enrolled into one or more of these courses. So we have enrollment ID, so student ID who is enrolled, and the course they are enrolled onto. So it's a very simple setup. So with Entity Framework, you have the situation where you want to pull the record for a student called John. And if you don't include these two methods, then it won't pull through the related data. So the related data is, well, actually, we want to know which courses is John enrolled into. And we then get the IDs, but we want to know the course detail. So we want to know the course's title. So you then include this. So let's demonstrate this to what this actually gives us. So if I run this code, and you can see I've got a bit of code here to do a write line over here. And you can see I'm outputting the course title, the student name, and so on. So here, this is the output that we get. Enrollments for John include English literature and computer science. So you can see this is pretty much what we expect our application to do. So if you don't include these two methods over here, then what will happen is you will get an error. So you can see the C# code is still valid. It seems to work. But when you have your loop over here, then you're going to come across problems. So at the minute you can see there are no errors. You would say, yeah, that code would work. If I run this here, you can see that we've got an unhandled exception. So we get enrollments for John, which is that line. But as soon as it tries to print the individual enrollments, it goes, well, those are null because the object is not set. So there is nothing to show for enrollments. This is because the Entity Framework only loads the data that it needs. So Entity Framework doesn't load that, and by default it will not load it unless you enable a few settings, and it's a bit more involved. But this process here, what it does is it eagerly loads the related data. So here, by just enabling these two methods here, we're saying once you found John, include his enrollments and then also include the course details. So Entity Framework will go and fetch the data from your database of the enrollments and the course. So that's why, when you have these two methods here, you get the correct output that you need versus not including them, which you know that this line of code works. But as soon as you tried print enrollment, it goes, I didn't load the enrollment details. And by default, Entity Framework will not load any sub-relationship details. You have to use the include methods over here.